What is up, YouTube? We are back at Shop 1 today. Done, gone, blown up the truck transmission, so this is what we are working on today. Stopped over my buddy's, borrowed his trans jack for up in the air, and we get to fix all my stupid mistakes from yesterday. So this trans, if you've stuck around the channel, you know that it's been making noises for a while. Topped it off with oil, noises went away, pulled out of the shop, nailed it in front of a car, not crazy, but needed to scoot, and she let go. Lost first gear in the midst of that, free revved high, shifted to second and third. They were fine. I was just banging around and making a bunch of grinding noises. Then at the next stoplight, I realized put it in first, and it's just not moving. Blew up first, which is also the reverse gear cluster. So this is what we're jamming on. I got it queued up kind of in here. Do the tedious part. I got to pull the shifter off in the cab first. Once we get the shifter out, then we'll throw it up in the air and start pulling the trans. It is currently 11:32, so we'll see how long this goes. I'm also coating some stuff in between, so we'll see what happens. Let me get set up and start ripping this thing apart. We're in the cut truck now. Lackluster lighting, so deal with it. There's not really a good spot to put you guys that you're going to be able to see anything, so we'll try our best here. First thing I got to do is pull up this shifter boot, which is about 1,000,000 screws. I don't even think they're sheet metal screws, but whatever I use to screw these into the floor. COVID masks. Good old Illinois. All right. It'd be nice if I had a bit that actually wasn't broken. Oh. Well, there wasn't so much junk in here. Come on. All right, another extension. And then the bit just fell out, so that's a pain in the ass. Long bit extension, it's not even magnetic. Who does that? Oh, come on. I got one more. What a stupid extension. And it's gonna get stuck in my drill. Junk. Alright, is that all of them? I got one more. Just force. Okay. There we have it. Now, in here, I gotta pull these two bolts out. That'll disconnect the shifter. And then we can get underneath the car, because this is probably the worst part so far. Hopefully this will kind of work. So the shifter bracket is also threaded. So we're just trying to get both of these loose. And at this point, if I can just get this nut off, I'd be much better off. Stay out of the way. And the only other concern I have on this at this point is going to be actually removing the shifter linkages. This has like an old Hurst or Mr. Gasket style shifter with a 3 on the tree to 3 on the floor conversion. But we'll deal with that once the transes are out. We'll just kind of take a look at what this one looks like and try and replicate it on the other one. I do have a brand new shifter set. I just don't know if it's for this trans or if we can make it work on this trans. There we go. Shifter is free. All right, let's get the hell out of the inside of this thing and get underneath it. All right, truck's back up in the air, so we got rear mount, U-joint, well, drive shaft. So we'll pull the drive shaft first. I gotta take this whole blade off. Yeah, it's a 2-piece drive shaft here, so we'll see what I gotta do there. Shifter is off. We gotta get to that 3/8 bolt for the speedo drive. Linkages should be able to stay since the shifter is disconnected. So literally rear trans mount, which is these 2 bolts and 4 bolts here. I'm leaving the bell housing on and I'm leaving the clutch in, hopefully. If I find anything crazy wrong with that, then we'll address that one down the line. But as of right now, it's just this little section. So without the bell housing, these transmissions are pretty small. So we'll get started on the drive shaft first. It's now 11:53 because it took forever to find tools and get that going. But the shifter's out, so everything else we need to do is underneath the car. I don't even remember what time I said we started. But this will take a while because I can't get a socket on here. There's not enough room. And our ratcheting wrench won't fit. So by hand, cue time lapse. U-joints are off and floating. This one does have the 1 mount on the cross member here. So we'll blast that apart next. Then we'll grab a second set of hands and we'll yank the drive shaft out. So here we can at least use electric tools on all of them. Don't mind my one mis-sized bolt. Didn't realize there was a second washer out there. Good to know. We'll have to put that one back in. Then I got one 7/16 for whatever reason on here. Wrong tools. Forgot that I got one stupid bolt on here. Hopefully I don't need a wrench. Got lucky. There we go. Have bolts in the mounts here? I think it was just that plate. Got a bolt there, bolt there. Yeah, we'll just pull that all off together. It's nice having employees. Just getting the coating done while we pull the drive shaft. Okay, drive shaft. Have you done this yet?
Pulled one out? I think so, yeah.
Okay, so these little needles here, everything's free. Hold that with one hand.
Hold it.
These right here.
Got you.
And we're gonna lift this up and back, ish. So let me get mine free, like that. It's a two-piece drive shaft, so I'm trying to keep it together. So I got this part here.
I'm out on this side.
Good. And then we'll just snake this down and straight to the ground. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Drive shaft's out. It's a good idea to tape those off too, so you don't have them fall out and lose the needles everywhere. It's a two-piece. I don't remember if you can split those or not, if it's gonna mess up the balance on the drive shaft if they're separated. But I've always kind of kept it together like that. So now we're down to just the transmission, which is these two rears. So I'll start on the rear mount first, get this done. There are cutouts in the frame to make it accessible for those two rear mounts, and then the 4 bolts up on the front. Jamming away here. It is now 12:07. So I think these are 5/8. Ow. Who puts a tire there? 5/8 here. Or 11/16, I can't remember. Both. Go. And that really hurt my head. Walked right into the tire. All right. Now, rear of the trans is floating. We got 4 5/8 bolts up front. I can get to the bottom 2 with the impact. The top 2, we'll see what happens up there, but 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we might want to queue up the trans jack at some point, but do I gotta pull this whole cross member? Of course I do. That was foolish. Let's yank the, I'm gonna leave the cross member for now. I don't wanna pull that yet, because that mount is pretty much resting on it, and then we'll break the front apart. What do I need to do to MacGyver this one? Grab an open end. Oh wait, what am I thinking? I haven't brought this to the other shop yet. And we are one bolt away from having a transmission come apart. This one's gonna be kind of a pain to get to. Always the last one. That's why we were saving it. Okay, what kind of extension rig do I need here? 3 6-inch extensions, I think. Gets me past all the shifter linkages. Shit, I'm just looking at where I racked this, and I'm pretty much just above that cross member. Hopefully that doesn't fight me. And we are free. 4 bolts out of the trans, so we technically should be free floating now. Ooh, let's do that speedo drive while we're over here too. It's this guy right here. Also, huge pain to get to. That will make do. Quarter turn at a time. Speedo doesn't even work on this. Well, kind of works, but not well. It's about 15 miles an hour off. If I cared enough, I got a whole bin full of different gears for that up top. Bolt, where did I just lose the bracket? Stayed on the cable, so that's good. But I'll try and pop this out. There's no ring on here, so that's what's fighting me right now. There we go. Running a pink gear on this one. This is the 3rd or 4th speedo cable I've put in because that keeps happening. I get nice and melty, but it works. Get this clear and out of the way. All right, we are 1 cross member away. Now, I don't remember if I can get by. If I need to drop the whole cross member, or if I can get by with just pulling the lower mount bracket off. The trans is floating on top of this right now. Let's pull the cross member. We'll wash up. I think while we're at it, I'll at least get the trans jack kind of set up to where we want it. This will take a while. Oh. I have to come down on the lift. It's unfortunate. Okay, I'll pop these bolts on the cross member first. Or try to. I might need a bigger impact for these. And a wrench. the weight of the cross member is coming down back here, so I'm not really too worried about it moving. And what do I want to do here? I guess I'll pull this last bolt out while it's sitting here. And then I'll put some blocks on the trans jack instead of lowering the truck. I got 9/16 again. That's every bolt. Should be. Unless I missed something stupid. Bell housing staying in, so the clutch and the linkage will all be the same. That's just fine. Let me find some blocks of some sort, and we can teeter-totter this trans. Stacks of wood, progressively smaller to clear the exhaust. Still gonna be a tight fit. Right. Cross members free. Now, the fun part. Oh shit, we're already maxed out on the floor pan. Okay. Where do you feel safer, Jake?
I don't care. Wherever you need me.
Stabilizing this. Like this front section here.
The front side?
Yeah, and then I can
onto the
kind of
front.
jiggle the tail shaft a little bit.
Got you.
It's free on there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Okay, so I'm gonna keep coming down a little bit. Everything's so gross and greasy. Starting to come off?
Yeah, I mean...
Gap forming?
No.
All right, let me do this.
It's still on.
Let's find a pry bar of some sort. You jiggle the back.
Tell me when.
I don't know yet. Why? Why? Should be just those four,
A
right?
little bit of a gap for me.
Is there a little one?
Yeah.
All right. The jack should be okay. Let me just keep the close hand on that front. If I lift up on this, is there a gap on the bottom?
A little bit.
There we go.
There you go. Now you're good. Now you're coming.
All right. I don't know where this is going to teeter-totter to because we don't have this really strapped on anything.
Probably
We come down a hair with the jack.
Probably gonna go towards you. Or not down at all. Seems like I'm still on something.
Oh, I'm hitting a sheet metal screw.
Really like real close.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, let me come down a hair more.
Very close.
Should kind of wiggle out now. What am I hitting?
I don't know. Seems like you're completely free.
Come up a bit, maybe? really wish I had a pry bar. Should be free.
I think you're stuck in the middle. That looks pretty.
Try and give it a push if you can. All right, hold on. How are we stuck on? It should just slide out. I don't have a bigger pry bar, I don't think. Let's see if I can grab a piece of metal. Something to jam in there. Just kind of hold that tail shaft in case it does like loose.
Gotta get that one piece out.
So I'm gonna push. You gotta balance that back.
Got you.
Got a decent grab on it?
Yeah.
All right, here, let's trade. I just feel a little better if I drop it and it falls on me.
100%. Want me a wedge?
Hold on.
Let me know.
Yep.
Yeah, come.
Hold on. Keep coming.
Real close. Inch by inch.
I'm gonna come down a tiny bit on this before you go anymore.
Got you.
Okay. She's free. All right, hold on. It's not moving.
I would like inch by inch, like tiny fucking centimeters.
Where are you pushing?
I was just going like this.
Okay.
I was trying to go on both sides. I got a lot though.
Yeah, keep going. There we go.
Oh,
Free.
There it is.
Grab the front. Then I'll start bringing this down and we'll just teeter-totter it. Ready?
Got you.
It's out, right?
Yeah.
Not out. You gotta come towards me a little more.
Oh fuck. Oh, it's almost out.
Free?
Now it's out.
All right. Balancing okay?
Completely out.
Let me come straight down.
It's gonna want to go a little bit towards more you. Right.
That's fine. Once we get it down low enough, we can just set it on the ground. It's a little finicky. It's just stuck on the throw-up bearing.
Yeah. That piece was a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be.
All right. Got a decent grab on it? You can grab that shaft on the front. Straight to the ground. Thank you. And then I'll have you bring over your car.
All right.
Oh, got a little stuck on the throw-up bearing. Took about 8 minutes or so. But she's free. And then I'll drop the car a little so I can shine a light in there, take a look. But tranny is out at 12:30. Not too bad. Now let's just hope that the new trans lines up with this. It's in the back of his Suburban, so he's bringing it back over here. Yukon, whatever it is, Tahoe. But he's pulling that around, so then we'll lay them next to each other, see what's what. All right, so new trans is on the ground. Took a couple measurements here. Trusty tape measure. This new trans is 1/2 inch longer than that one. For whatever reason, I don't know where it extends, but I think we're still gonna try it anyway. The pinion noses from face to the end, 5.5 there, 5.5 there. Take my word for it, I just measured it. So 5.5 inches on the snout, and then if I go from seal to the side of this, we're just over 7 3/8. Seal to the side of this, it's about 7.5 on the tail housing. But if I go from here to the face, 17 1/4. From here to here, 17 1/4. And on this one, we are 16 3/4. 16 3/4. Unless my measurement's just off because of this little bracket. No, 16 3/4. to 17 1/8. No, 17 1/4. So it's a 1/2 inch longer. We have a slip joint in the middle of the drive shaft, so I think we'll be okay. We're gonna find out one way or another because it's the only trans I have. I just gotta fill this thing up with oil, which I might do first. I don't know what I want to do. Definitely need to spend some time on where will this snout, though. It's the one part I'm not super happy about, but it's the only one I got. So, brass bushing, it'll cut itself, right? So here's the two transmissions again. If you notice, this just has the little shifter arms down below, whereas this one has all the aftermarket linkage things right there, all the way to this big bracket and all of this stuff. This needs to get swapped over to that. But at the same swap meet, when I bought this transmission, let's take another walk over, picked up this box. Hurst straight dual pattern shifter. I don't know anything about this, but these are the parts I have. We're gonna try and see if I have enough in there to duplicate somewhat what that looks like. There are directions on here. What is this, 55 to 64? Those slotted brackets. These guys. So I think we have a brand new version of that shifter assembly sitting here. And hopefully this $15 brand new in not original box. Well, maybe it was, I don't know. Hopefully all of this will work, because that one is on its last legs. Or I'll just replace the parts that are worn out on there onto the new trans. So when I bring that trans over, I'll bring them both over here. We'll lay them out, take a look, see how this goes. I've never done it. I don't know what parts I have, but we'll one piece at a time. One's over here with the linkages, the brackets, all this other stuff. This one's over here. We have some directions. It's missing a ton of information down here, but that's okay. I think 64 to 74, I don't know. I'm just gonna try and replicate that as best I can. Worst case, if I can use those brackets. I think these are supposed to be kind of universal kits, so let's dive into it and start. First thing, we're gonna need those little shifter plates, which we have 1, 2. So I do have those. And I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, but here's what we got. Looks like we use this bottom one and this one, just like that. Which means if we come back up to this one, I gotta pull these shifters off. Oh, come on. Half the battle. A little rusted. But she's coming. All right, so that one, I'm not going to keep moving the camera back and forth, but that one lines up with this, like that. There. Really hope this table holds up. It's flexing pretty good right now. Very rusty. But we got her. Back up. This one goes this way. If you're a Ford expert and know exactly how these kits work, and I'm doing it wrong, please let me know. But my buddy's got to reuse his trans jack tomorrow, so I got to at least do what I can to try and get this gym back in the car today. Alright, shifter plates are back on. Make sure everything still engages. Engaged, neutral, engaged, back to neutral, engaged, engaged, neutral. Okay, so first part of the battle, those are back on. That's the lower plates. Then we need the shifter arms, and then we're gonna have to look at the back of this trans. So, slide this back over. Big L bracket, which we got there. Shifter brackets. This is where it's gonna change a little bit. I don't know if that's long enough. That should be about the same. They're close. So that shouldn't go on there instead of this one, but see how much slop and play is in this? This one's actually got an engagement that seems to work. So that'll go there. That goes to there. So it should be those two brackets, and then it looks like I need one more for the lower. I don't know what we're going to do about that lower mount yet. Let's see what the instructions say. Forward. All right, let's start popping stuff off. Then you guys will need a new battery. Shifter goes here based on the instructions. Something like that. This says use a different one, 51 to 64. What does the other Ford one say? There we go. Those are the tabs we need. Can't believe the directions came in that. I don't even remember seeing that when I got it last time. Then we have the L bracket here. Maybe. No. Here. That looks better. Might take some coercing, but I think that should be kind of close. Ooh, there's an extension. Thank you, directions. What I think makes sense. That looks much better though. Okay, let me get this snug down. You guys are in my way. Get this snug down and get that top unlocked, and then we'll look at the next one. It is now 2:24. All of the last time my buddy stopped by, so we were kind of BSing for a little bit, but the rest of my time has been spent going through this shifter kit, trying to figure out and make sense of how all of this works. We made it all kind of fit. I hope that it fits in the car. We'll find out when we get up there. But I just did a bench test. It is shifting through all the gears. I got to put one washer and a cotter pin on here. The linkages on here, I line them up kind of the same way where you put the pin through the center and get everything queued up, but I had it smoothly shifting through everything on here. All of the bushings, everything feels way tighter than that setup was. So we're gonna try jamming this in the car next with the shifter on. Hopefully it all works. Otherwise, this is gonna be a huge pain. There's not a lot of room to do this under the car once it's actually in the car, but if I need to, I think I can make that work. So that's kind of where we're at. It took me a while to get this laid out, but all I got left is we're gonna polish up this shaft and try and get this back in the car today. I don't know if it's gonna be running and driving today because I got another buddy coming over to buy a ratchet top trans from me at the other shop that I gotta go meet. So be running around a little bit here, but as of now, one washer, one cotter pin, and I think we're about good to go on this. Next up, we got a polished up input shaft, so that should be good. Everything else, I didn't check the rear yoke yet. Worst case, if it's not the right one, I can take that off and we'll throw a fresh rear main seal in, and that should be it. Shifter works on the bench. We're gonna try and jam this thing up there. Hopefully it lines up with the shifter still on, and the brackets will kind of sort of clear, but now's the time to get this thing back in. So we're gonna start getting this queued up to put back up here. I'm gonna leave this just kind of on time lapse. So cue up the time lapse and then watch the struggle. Kind of shined a light in there. Everything looked semi-okay. I should look through that a little bit. Maybe I'll do that. I'll drop the lift a little bit. We'll go one over what's on the inside of that real quick, then we'll time lapse the rest of the trans install. Truck's down, one more lock on the lift, so we're a little bit lower. Let's try and line this up. Input shaft is greased. We are ready to jam this thing back in, hopefully. Here goes nothing. Cue the music. that not go?
Probably the same reason it was coming out.
What am I hitting? There we go.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
That's how I get it.
Close, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. It actually slid in.
Yeah.
How far is the gap up there?
It's fucking small.
That's what bolts are for. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Really?
We can snug those in.
And get at least 2 in.
They always had the moon cast on it or no?
Yeah, they used to be chrome. I spent a bunch of time polishing them, and then I left them over by the blast pile, and Jake decided to blast them.
That's why you don't leave things where they don't belong.
I know. just like that, we got the transmission back installed. So I had to pull the shifter that I spent 2 hours trying to figure out on the bench. Had to take that out of the truck when we installed the trans and then put everything else back in there. So got that all figured out and the trans is back in. We are now on day 3 for you guys, the end of day 1. I'm splitting it into 3 videos. So it'll be first one that you just watched was trans removal, trans install. Second one, drive shaft and all of the problems that came about with that. And the third one will be the shifter stuff inside the car, which is what I'm gonna start working on today. So you got a couple videos to wait on that one. It's just taking me a while to get through and edit everything with how busy I've been. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Next 2 videos are still gonna be on this truck before we get back on any bike stuff while we're waiting on parts for the dirt bike. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.